Fellow Ghanaians, good morning. The ethnic and religious attacks on NPP's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia must end. It is not appropriate, and those who are battling to lead the NPP must know that this is someone that really put his life and his career on the line for the party. It is not now that his ethnic and religious tendencies or religious affiliation will be used as a campaign against him. Fellow Ghanaians, sometimes you look at our politics and then you wonder whether our leaders are truly serious about the business of nation building or whether they are just trapped in an endless circus of self-preservation. We are barely 1 year from that bruising national election in which the New Patriotic Party, the ruling party at the time, led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was roundly defeated by more than 1.7 million votes. Not only did the party lose the presidency, but its parliamentary strength collapsed from 137 to 88 seats. That was a catastrophic fall by any measure. One would have thought that such a defeat will propel a soul-searching, that a party will retreat to examine its message, reconnect with the ordinary Ghanaian, rebuild its credibility, and function as a real opposition to keep the new government in check. But no, instead it's focusing on being the strong, credible opposition that Ghana needs. Instead of focusing on that, the NPP has plunged headlong into another flag-bearer contest, fighting over an election that is more than 3 years away. Instead of scrutinizing the government's policies, questioning its budget allocations, interrogating and handling some of the national crisis, the NPP is busy airing its dirty linen in mainstream media and on social media. Internal battles have taken precedence over the national duty of opposition. The party that once prided itself in discipline, intellectual firepower, is now looking more like a fractured house obsessed with personalities, not policies. The biggest casualty is not just the party, it is Ghana's democracy, because the vacuum of opposition gives the government a free rein. Fellow Ghanaians, the troubling part of this internal NPP contest is not merely that it is premature, it is the dangerous tones that it has taken. Instead of debating ideas, strategy, and visions for Ghana, we are seeing the resurrection of old ghosts, ethnicity, and religion. Two forces that have no business being central in a modern political campaign are now being weaponized against one man, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the party's 2024 flag bearer and former vice president. Dr. Bawumia, who despite his flaws has been a towering figure in the NPP since 2008, has become the lightning rod for divisive rhetoric. His ethnicity as a Mamprisi and his religion as a Muslim are suddenly being cast as disqualifications by some of his own party people. This is reckless, this is dangerous, and this is shameful. We've all heard the viral video and the commentary, particularly from the camp of Brian Achampon, an aspirant in this upcoming race. In one such video, Brian is heard openly discussing Dr. Bawumia's ethnicity, suggesting that as a Mamprisi, he will be a liability for the party in 2028. He even boasts how he personally funded a huge part of Bawumia's previous campaigns, as if political leadership in a democracy is something to be bought and sold. Then there are the whispers from Ken Ajapon's camp, fanning similar sentiments that Bawumia's religion will alienate Christian voters. Fellow Ghanaians, this is not politics. This is poison. What is at stake here is not simply the fate of one man in a political contest. It is the soul of our very democracy. And if we normalize campaigns based on ethnicity and religion, then we open a Pandora's box that can rip this country apart. Ghana has been relatively peaceful in a region often scarred by sectarian violence, precisely because we have over the years built a political culture that, while far from perfect, has mostly kept tribal and religious divisions at the periphery. To now drag those dangerous identities into the center of a major political party's leadership is to invite chaos. Yes, Dr. Bawumia himself may not entirely be innocent when it comes to these matters. Before the 2024 elections, he made a claim that he would secure more votes in the Zongo communities, perhaps suggesting that because he was a Muslim, those communities would naturally rally to him. That was a misstep, a cheap appeal to identity rather than to ideas. But even so, that does not justify the current onslaught against him. It does not justify serious political party stooping to the level of painting him as unelectable because of his religion or ethnicity. Let us remember this. This is the same Dr. Bawumia whose incisive economic lectures in opposition helped propel the NPP to power in 2016. This is the same Bawumia who, for better or worse, became the intellectual and policy face of the party during his years in opposition and during his years in government. to now reduce his political identity to Mamprasi or to Islam is not only unjust, it is intellectually bankrupt. Fellow Ghanaians, political contest must be about ideas, about how to fix our broken economy, how to create jobs for our restless youth, how to build infrastructure that actually works, how to combat corruption, and how to position Ghana competitively in a changing global order. They must be about the difficult questions. What lessons has the NPP learned from its humiliating defeat in 2024? How can it rebuild where the Ghanaians trust in it? How can it craft a credible message that speaks to ordinary people struggling with rent, jobs, healthcare, and education? But no. Instead, we are watching party elites, some of them trying to unseat Bawumia, drag us backward with campaigns of division. We have seen this before in Ghana, and we know where it leads. Every time ethnicity or religion has been weaponized, it leaves deep scars. It shows suspicion where there should be solidarity. It teaches young people that what matters most is not that they can contribute, it is where they come from. It undermines merit, ideas, and national unity, and it ultimately leaves us weaker as a nation. This irony is painful. This is like a party that likes to call itself the tradition of Dankwa, Buzia, and Dombo. Yet today, the Dombo element is under siege within the same tradition. How does that even make sense? How do you invoke Dombo when you treat a Mamprasi with disdain? How can you claim to be a national party when you suggest that one man's religion as a Muslim disqualifies him from leading? Fellow Ghanaians, it must be said, if the NPP chooses to go down this path, it risks not only destroying itself, but also poisoning the broader political climate in Ghana. Because if the NPP legitimizes ethnic and religious campaigning, do you think the NDC or any other political party will resist the temptation from joining? They will pick up the same tools, and soon enough, our politics will be consumed by identity warfare. This is why this moment requires strong voices within and outside the NPP. To condemn this path, it requires us to insist that leadership is about competence, credibility, and vision, not tribe, not faith, not who funded your last campaign. Yes, Dr. Bawumia lost badly in 2024. Yes, he has questions to answer about his record, about his promises, about his performance as vice president. Those are legitimate grounds for contest. Those are the debates that should dominate. But to reduce the debate to whether he is Mamprasi or Muslim is an insult not only to him, but to all of us Ghanaians. Fellow Ghanaians, let me return to where I started. This flag bearer race is happening too early. The NPP has more urgent work to be a credible opposition, to hold the government accountable, to prove that it has learned from its failures. But if the party insists on going ahead, then the least it can do is to keep the contest clean, intellectual, and forward-looking. Because in the end, Ghana needs a strong opposition. Our democracy thrives when both government and opposition are strong, when citizens hear competing visions and hold both sides accountable. What we do not need is an opposition consumed by petty fights over tribe and faith, leaving the government free to act without scrutiny. So let us say it, and clearly, the next NPP flag bearer must be chosen based on ideas, not identity. The contest must be about competence and clan, not clan. Religion and ethnicity have no place in modern democracy. And any party that chooses that path does so at its own peril, at the peril of the nation. Fellow Ghanaians, let us remember we are all Ghanaians first. Christians, Muslims, Mamprasi, Ashanti, Ewe, Ghana. We are all children of one republic, and the republic deserves better than politics of division. Good morning, fellow Ghanaians.